Hey guys, what's up? It's Luke on February 18th, 2013. I've been on T for 2.5 years. So I'm going to make a quick physical update about things. By and large, physical changes seem to have slowed down. Nothing really dramatic to report. I'm still taking a dose of zero point 0.4 milliliters a week of 200 milligrams per milliliter concentration testosterone. I think I got that right. I just take up to four. I take zero point 0.4 cc because it's a double strength dose, and so that equals out to about 80 milligrams of testosterone a week. I was using the 200 milligrams per milliliter strength because it seemed more cost effective to me, although I've heard anecdotally that the stronger concentration can be a little bit harder on your liver, so I need to actually get to the bottom of that and figure out if that's true or not, in which case I'll definitely switch back to the regular 100 milligrams per milliliter strength. So in the past 6 months, really the only things that I have noticed have been slight increase in body hair in certain places. I know I've in the past made videos where I've referenced, like, for example, growing hair on my arms and stuff like that, and it always seems like I'm about to start getting hairier there, and then it just never develops. So I don't know what's actually going to happen in terms of my hairiness. I don't think I'm going to be very hairy. My dad's not very hairy. My brother's not very hairy. But I can say that I've started to see tiny, tiny hairs like on my stomach. So I honestly would have thought that at 2.5 years I would have had a lot more hair on my body. A lot of my peers seem to be much more hairy than I am by this point in their transition. So I don't know what the deal with that is. I'm not really concerned about it. I mean, I could really go either way. Um, but yeah, I mean, I have like, yeah, you can't even see it at all, but the hairiest point on my arm is like right here on my wrist, and that's it. But I always had hair right here, and this has just grown more in recent months, and there's like a little bit more out here too now, so that's happening. In terms of like hair on my legs and stuff like that, maybe it's getting a little bit thicker. Hair on my butt is getting a little thicker, but I'm just not really that hairy. Um, I think my voice has changed a little bit in the past year. The only way I know this is from listening to my outgoing voicemail message on my work phone. When I hear when I replay it, it sounds a lot deeper than I remember my voice sounding. So maybe that's happened. My voice definitely still cracks pretty regularly, actually. But I've noticed that I take my shot on a Wednesday and often on a Friday. If my voice is going to crack, that's when it will happen, is on a Friday. So I suspect there might still be some changes happening laryngeally for me. And I think it's just maybe going to drop a little bit more, or I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. Um, Something that I occasionally experience that I don't quite understand is cramping. Um, Yeah, I don't know too much about what's happening. It definitely is a concern of mine. Something I intend to talk to my doctor about when I see her next. There's no real regularity to it, or there's no real pattern that I can discern in terms of when it happens. But obviously, I'm really sensitive to anything happening in like specific, body parts, and just want to make sure that I'm keeping myself in good shape and paying attention to any kind of messaging my body is trying to deliver. So that will happen every now and then. I haven't gotten my cholesterol levels checked in a while, but I'm due for actually I'm getting some blood work done in March, so I should know about where those fall. One thing I keep meaning to mention that I always forget is that since starting testosterone, I've noticed that Whereas before I started tea, I used to really crave things like sweets. I don't really crave sugary things anymore. I mostly crave what I deem to be high cholesterol things, fatty foods, fried foods, donuts, you know, meat, like lots of proteins, and just kind of like, I mean, I guess sweet foods are also not so good for you, but it just feels like I want to eat stuff that's bad for me all the time. I don't know what that's about. But I feel like I've seen a marked shift between craving sweet stuff and then craving um, fatty foods. So I'm trying to always keep that under control. I don't do too much dietary stuff. I mean, I usually eat pretty healthy despite these cravings. Um, and but I've never really made dietary stuff a part of my fitness regimen, and I doubt I will anytime soon. But I'm definitely mindful of the fact that like my body metabolizes cholesterol differently now, and that there can be specific risks attached to dietary choices that I make, and so just trying to be cognizant of that and you know watch what I eat. Physically, I feel like I'm catching up with my age a little bit more. I think I look closer to 30 now than I ever have before. I mean, people still think I'm really young, and I get comments like, "Oh, you're really well preserved," or I still get a lot of eyebrow raises if I reveal my age. I don't know what it is, whether it's something to do with my hairline or just like lack of wrinkles on my skin, or I don't know what it is, but I don't really look as old as maybe I should for somebody who's born male. But I'm not really complaining about that. I feel like I look like an adult now, and that's okay with me. Facial hair stuff, yeah, I mean, I don't really feel like I'm seeing more or less of it. Maybe this area is filling in a little bit more, and my mustache is starting to get a little wirier, especially right around the edges. Generally, though, like this area is where it mostly comes in. Um, like there's a little bit of darker area around here, but yeah, it's mostly all along my underside of my chin and around my chin. Um, my cheeks, it's soft and kind of not as dense, but it still looks like pretty full to me. So I think that will just continue to develop. I can show my chest now at I guess a little over 2 years post-op is what it would be. I had surgery. I started T in August 2010. In August 16th, 2010, I had surgery on November 16th, 2010. So my surgery date is always like a few months behind my T date. So I'll show my chest. Yeah, so this is my chest. My scars are showing a little bit more right now because I'm just not tan. But yeah, pretty great. Pretty happy with it. The scars are really flat. Even this one area here that was always a little raised is like pretty flat now. Happy with my nipples. The placement is like still sometimes feels a little wide to me, but I don't really think it's that noticeable maybe. Something I have noticed is that I'm growing maybe a little bit of chest hair, which is funny. I don't think it'll pick up on here, but I noticed it first around like right above my scar, which I think would correspond to right where my nipple would be before it was, removed and repositioned. So a little bit here, and then just these finest little hairs like along here. Same on this side. So maybe I'm gonna have some chest hair. Um, I think that's about it. I think I'm gonna make a separate video that just details like emotional stuff. I'm still growing my hair long. It's fucking it takes a long time, and it's really like frustrating me right now. But yeah, I'm mostly doing that because I don't know how long I'm going to have hair. So I want to experience long hair while I can. yeah, in terms of my hair, I mean, I feel like this area is like kind of receding a little bit, which I think is okay. I mean, there's a degree to which I'm comfortable with that, and then a degree to which I'm not comfortable with that. But I think so far so good. Um, it's not anything to like be alarmed about. So yeah, 2.5 years on T, and that's basically it. Feel free to ask if you have any questions about physical things, and I'll try to answer them. Thanks.